I spent years living all the way in the box, afraid to step out, afraid to truly grab hold of my dream. And now I am breaking through, and I invite you to join me.
Your breakthrough starts now. Coming up on today's show, get ready to be inspired and transformed with our featured guests. Find out what's trending and get advice on life's daily challenges with Erica's top tips of the day. All of this and so much more coming up, so stay tuned. This is your one-stop shop for inspiration. The Erica Latrice Show. And now, here's your host, Erica.
Hello and welcome. Throw up those clap emojis. I need you to be like my live audience. Yes, let the claps begin. I'm so pumped about today's show. We're talking about cheese, like actual cheese. We're going to make cheese on today's show. And making cheddar, doing what you love. I'm so corny, but that was the coolest thing to me ever. So coming up, we do have our Real in the Street segment where I will be highlighting trending videos and topics from around the world. If you have a video that you think should be on the show, I don't know why you haven't tagged me yet, but tag me to it so that we can feature it. Also, in the Be Inspired Cafe today, absolutely amazing powerhouses. Up first is our resident cheese maker. She is the owner and lead cheese coach, Kate Johnson. I could not be more excited if you can't tell. I have an absolute guru in career satisfaction. If you've ever wondered, how do I do what I love? How do I get out of my comfort zone and start doing those things that I really love doing? You definitely want to stick around for that. And I'm just doing a little inspiration rewind. And this is a throwback interview with Miles Brown of the hit show Blackish, where he talks about doing what you love. All of this and so much more is coming up on today's show. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. You just soar. If you're ready to step out, I'm telling you, you can transform your life in 21 days by taking the 21-day Focus Fast, and you can get that at thefocusfast.com. As promised, it is time for our Real in the Streets. Now, this really inspired me. Someone tagged me to this. If ever I was to get proposed to again in life, it has to be this way. Because if you love board games, if you love all things taboo, then this is going to make your day. So check out this Real in the Streets segment.
No. My name is Dante and
Donald.
It's a pronoun for
You. Me.
Okay, another pronoun.
You.
Boom. Okay. Come on, Dante. Holiday. It's a holiday.
Christmas.
Christmas. Okay. What do you say on Christmas?
Merry.
You ain't playing, girl.
Come on, Bill. Okay, automobile.
Car.
Car. If you want your car to go left or
Wheel.
right,
Steer.
Wheel.
Time.
I got that one. I got four. Got four.
You got
Four.
You got 3. No, you got 4.
Bro, you talking about I got four?
He got 3.
I got, look, we got Will You Marry Me?
That is.
If that was not the best, oh my gosh, like I said, if you are an absolute, like, if you love board games, like I love board games, then that is the coolest proposal I've ever seen, like ever. So if you have a video, if you've seen one, it doesn't have to be a proposal. It could be a soldier coming home to another sweet spot of mine or anything. Tag me to it, share it. By the way, we have a fun giveaway on today's episode. So if you want to win, the best way to qualify is by watching live. And all that you have to do is comment. It's pretty straightforward. So definitely make sure that you're adding your comments, dropping those emojis, throwing up the clap hands, so that you can win. And our special guest in the Be Inspired Cafe today is going to tell you exactly what you're going to win. So I'm making cheese today. And just as a little hint, if you want to learn how to make cheese, I would encourage you to comment today, because that's kind of what we're giving away. So I want to jump into our top tip of the day. And this one is going to be so fast, so straightforward, but I hope that it just helps you to step out. Today's top tip is all about doing what you love. And one of my favorite quotes, and I don't know if I'm remixing it, is when you do what you love, you will never work another day in your life. And I find myself having these pinch me moments every day. It's like, I cannot believe I get paid to do this. And I want that for every single one of you watching. So don't go anywhere, because our resident expert is going to share with you how you can turn any job, as I'm kind of changing up his message, turn any job into your dream job. If not that, you're going to learn how to find your dream job. And also Chandra Gore is on today, and she's talking about how she was able to transition out of life in the military and do something that she absolutely loves. And of course, we have Kate today. She's teaching us how to make cheese. And if you don't think that's the coolest thing ever, I don't know what's wrong with you. But when we come back, I'm going to do a quick flashback with Miles Brown talking about doing what you love, none other than that. And then we'll be heading into the Be Inspired Cafe. I'll be right back.
Get ready for all new episodes of The Erica Latrice Show. You can join me weekdays at 2 o'clock Eastern across social media at Erica Empowers. That's Erica spelled like America. If you have a message that you want to share on the show, email us right now at info@ericalatrice.com or visit online at ericalatrice.com/be on the show.
All right, so it's time for our Inspiration Rewind. And today we have Miles Brown from the hit show Blackish, and he talks about how you can start stepping out. And
I think oftentimes we can look at, I guess, younger people that are achieving like phenomenal heights like yourself and think, how on earth could you know, like at such a young age, that this is what you really want to do? And so what would you say, what separates you from, let's say, like the average child that may want to like dabble in something, and then you being someone that's like achieved it in a level of like excellence? What's the difference there?
I don't know. I feel like I've just always done what I like love to do, I guess. Like I've never done, as a kid, I haven't, experienced what it's like being an adult yet, but for kids, I'd say as a kid, I've always experienced things where I'd be able to do what I want, even if I'm not, that good at it. Let's just say like basketball, or let's just say if I wasn't good at basketball, I still love it. So I play it every day, and I feel like that's what's most important for kids, just to know that.
Yes, so that was a quick clip. Now, here's my thing. If a child can figure that out, how much more should we, if you're watching this and you're an adult, how important it is to start identifying and understanding what you love. And that is what our special guest coming up right now in the Be Inspired Cafe has managed to do. I love her story because she talks about coaching herself out of her coaching job, which is the coolest thing to me. So welcome into the Be Inspired Cafe. Right now, we have none other than Kate Johnson. How are you doing today, Kate?
Hey, Erica. How are you?
All is well. I'm so excited. Like, I don't know why I think like cheese. I'm not even like a huge cheese eater, but I do eat cheese. But now I think I'm going to just start like eating cheese for no reason.
Yeah, I know. It's a crazy thing how much people love cheese. It's just got a lot of energy around it.
Yes. So I'm so excited to have you here today. Can you tell us just a little bit of your story and just a little bit about how you got started in this area?
Yeah, well, so it kind of really goes back to childhood. You were talking about if people can figure this out as a child, why can't adults? And really, as a child, I always wanted to live on a farm, but I was a city girl, and it just wouldn't go away. I really wanted to. And when my kids were little, we were living in a suburban neighborhood, and I took them to visit a goat farm. And it just, my heart just swelled. I was like, I've got to figure out how to raise these kids on a farm. So it was by hook and by crook. We looked for 2 years for a property, finally found a property, finally got some goats, Then those goats had babies. Then we had milk, and I started to make cheese. Now, all of that was just a hobby. At the time, I have a master's degree in career counseling, and I was working as a life coach, and I loved coaching. But I was finding that the advice I was giving to my clients, which was follow the energy, I started to kind of take on myself. And when I would talk to people about like, oh, I'm a life coach, and they'd be like, oh, boring. Everybody's a life coach, right? And then I'd say, oh, and I make cheese, and I teach people how to make cheese. They'd be like, what? You make cheese? That's so cool. And after a few years of this, I'm like, there's a lot of energy around that. I ought to just become a cheesemaker and teach people how to make cheese. So that's kind of how it happened.
It's so true. Like, when we connected, that was the first thing that stood out. I'm like, wait, tell me more about the cheese.
Yeah.
You know,
Like, what?
It's really cool. And you just said something. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. A lot of times, the thing that we're really good at, the thing that we enjoy, like for me, it's this. I never thought about it, but I realized as far back as I can remember, I would be using a pen and sticking it in someone's face and interviewing them, like whether they wanted me to or not, asking questions. So what would you say to that person that's kind of like ignoring the thing that comes natural to them and not thinking of it as a big deal?
Yeah, I think you definitely have to listen to it and follow that. I mean, like for me, I noticed that, you know, I had a lot of these kind of jobs, you know, they weren't really career jobs. And the thing I always liked the best on every job I had was the teaching aspect. If I had to run a training or if I had to teach somebody how to do something. And over time, I realized like, I really love teaching people stuff. And I was teaching horseback riding lessons, you know, when we first moved to the farm. And then I was teaching 4-H kids how to raise goats. So I think you look at the patterns of the things that where you get excited. And like, just like you said at the beginning, the things you would do for no pay. You know, I was spending a lot of time volunteering, teaching kids in 4-H how to do this for no pay. And I didn't feel like I was not, you know, should be paid. It was just fun. So I think that's it. Looking for that pattern of that thing that just turns you on, that you enjoy.
I could hug you through my screen right now because that is just something that it took me forever to figure it out. And I just wish that more people understood, that it's never too late. If you're becoming aware of this today, do something about it. And our next guests are going to tell you exactly what to do. And then also just listen to the advice that Kate just gave. Think about what comes natural. So speaking of that, we're going to see her in her natural element in just a second. So stick around. Kate is going to show us live right now how she makes her cheese. The cheese and the cheddar. We'll be right back. Get your copy of my all-new book, Finished, where you can transform your life and get projects done in as little as 7 days. Go to ericalatrice.com. All right, we are back in the Be Inspired Cafe with the powerhouse, Kate Johnson. So Kate is going to show us how to make cheese. I could not be more excited about this, so I'm just going to hand it over to you.
Okay, so today we are going to make Chev, which is the classic soft goat cheese. Now, keep in mind, I normally take an hour to teach this, and I think I have about 3 minutes, so I'm going to be going fast. So, cheese has basically 4 ingredients most of the time: milk, culture, rennet, and salt. We can go into lots of details about that later, but we don't have time. Okay, so for Chev, we got to have goat milk because Chev means goat, and we're going to use an all-in-one culture, and it's called Chev. And this culture has both the culture and the rennet. So it's bacteria and an enzyme. This is how easy it is. I'm going to put this down so you can watch. You start with some milk, okay? So this is some goat milk from my goats. If you don't have goats, just buy goat milk at the store, but don't buy ultra pasteurized milk. You're going to take a little bit of this culture. You're going to warm the milk up to about room temperature, sprinkle the culture in, put the lid in, go away for 12 hours. Literally, you can be sleeping while this cheese is being made. And I started this last night, and then I went to bed. And when I came back, I have this beautiful curd. That's all the solids in the milk were pulled away from the liquids. Now, I'm not done yet because this curd right now looks more like Greek yogurt than Chev. So now what I'm going to do is take those curds and I'm going to scoop them into cheesecloth. This is a very fine woven cheesecloth called butter muslin, but it's cheesecloth nonetheless. Okay, so we're going to scoop all of this cheese. This was about a half a gallon of milk. It'll make almost a pound of cheese, which is pretty great. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this little piece of cheesecloth into a bag just by tying opposite corners together. All right, because the next stage, it has to drain. Because right now there's a lot of liquid in this. See all that liquid coming out? That's the whey. The curds are the solids, and that's going to be my cheese, and I want some of that whey to drain out. So now I'm going to pull this over, which is a big pot, and I would just tie this on the edge of the pot and let it drain, guess what, for another 12 hours, okay? And then when I come back, that bag's going to look something like this, and it's just about done. Oops, sorry about that noise. I'm rushing here. We're going to just open up this bag, and we have this lovely cheese, and we're going to add a little bit of salt, just some non-iodized sea salt, and we're going to mix that salt in with a fork, and voila, you have your cheese. I mean, it is the simplest thing ever, and it is so good. Now, you could flavor this cheese however you want. I like to roll it in herbs or put some honey in it, but that's it, and it's delicious, and it's that easy. Can you even believe it?
I am in awe right now. I feel like I want to, like, I don't know, like, move you next door so I can just come to your house every day and just get homemade cheese. So you have decided to give something really cool away on today's show. Can you tell us just a bit about that?
Yeah, so, I teach cheese making. I have a cheese making school here on my farm, but the in-person classes are closed, right? Just like everybody else. So I really did a big pivot, and I've spent a good month putting all my classes into Zoom format. So I have a bunch of online classes now. They basically go like this, but a little bit slower. With me, they are walking you through every step, and somebody is going to win a free admission to one of my online classes. It's a Zoom class, and I have lots of options for you. You can pick the one you like, and we'll make cheese together via Zoom.
I love it. So we are going to be giving away a free cheese session that you want to be a part of. So stick around for the entire show so that you can win that. Kate, I want to say thank you so much for taking time out to be in the cafe and make cheese alive on screen. That's so cool.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, Erica. I love what you're doing.
Yeah, so when we come back, we have our special guest in the Be Inspired Cafe who says she loves cheese right now. And we're going to be talking about transitioning into your next career. We have Chandra and Anthony. They are, oh my gosh, like these are your go-to experts. So if you're sitting there right now, maybe you're a little nervous about what's coming, you don't know how to pivot, I invite you at this present moment to go and find your notepad. I'm giving you like heads up so that you can take some notes so that you can be ready for that next step. When we come back, you're going to hear from Anthony and Chandra in the Be Inspired Cafe.
If you're watching this, so are your potential clients. I'm excited to announce an all-new season of the Erica Latrice Show. It's coming up right now, and we're looking for featured guests as well as sponsors. If you want to be a success supporter of this show, connect with our team right now by emailing info@ericalatrice.com to get more information or just support the mission of Be Inspired, to empower and inspire people all around the world with a message of hope and encouragement. Our mission is to bring you uplifting news and talk to encourage and share a platform for those who have a powerful message and looking for a place to share it. If you want to partner with the Erica Latrice Show, you can do so by emailing info@ericalatrice.com or visit ericalatrice.com/sponsor so that you can be a success supporter of this inspirational movement.
Hello and welcome back. All right, as promised, I have my special guest right now, Chandra, Anthony, in the Be Inspired Cafe, and we are talking about all things that you love, like your job, I hope, and income. So let's start with you, Anthony. Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself, how you got started down the career path that you're in?
Thanks, Erica. Yeah, as Erica mentioned, I am a career satisfaction coach, and I got my start. I look like I'm maybe 12 or something, but I have been working before about 8 years in the corporate world, climbing that ladder. And I was the picture of success. I was the wonderkind who was climbing up that ladder, getting promoted left and right, pulling in that six-figure salary, and I was doing all the things that you would normally associate with being successful, and I thought, and wrongly so, it turned out that if I got and did all of the things, then I would be happy. But it turns out that I got to where I was at, manager in a company, and feeling super empty. And then I love what Kate said about just following where the energy is, because that's I noticed that my favorite part of what I did was helping people with their careers. I loved helping, reviewing resumes, helping people prepare for interviews. And I was just you know what? I'm really good at this. I also had a coaching background before. I was on the side, I learned to be a relationship coach of all things. And I just combined those skill sets, and here we are.
It's kind of funny that you say that too, Anthony, because I tell my story of how I wrote my book, The Focus Fast, because I was in a job and I was sitting in the car and I was about to be in tears just at the thought of going in. I was a job coach. I reviewed resumes and I help people get ready for their job. So this is a true case in point. What Anthony loves is what drove me out into what I'm doing now, because I was I cannot do this anymore. So I thank you for sharing that and being transparent. I'm going to bring up Chandra to introduce herself, and then we're going to get on our panel today. So if you have questions about how to be more satisfied, how to make those transitions, now would be the time to ask. Chandra, I want to welcome you. Yes. So can you tell us just a bit about yourself? You had an experience only a year ago where you had an unexpected pivot in your career. So tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. My name is Chandra Nicole Gore, and I am a Lens of Faith. I'm the CEO and founder of Lens of Faith Speaks Coaching and Consulting. And I had an unexpected turn for the better. How many of you have ever felt like you had the carpet snatched from under you and you didn't know which way to go, what to do? That happened to me. But I got to tell you a little caveat to this. I absolutely loved being a soldier. I served in the United States Army for 19 years and 10 months, just 2 months shy of retiring, right? And so I was waiting to retire, going through a med board, and then all these things started happening to me. I faced discrimination. I made a mistake. I chose to attend a conference that I heard God tell me to go to. God told me clearly, go, you need to get there. And what I didn't realize from 2016 until 2019, God was actually preparing me to leave the military. I missed the initial signs of God saying, hey, it's your time. I'm getting ready to shift you, prepare. But he had already given me Proverbs and Exodus. And how many of you all know that Exodus means you're getting ready to make an exit, and Proverbs in the Bible gives you wisdom to make the exit. And so that's what God did for me. God absolutely prepared me before he moved me.
I'm loving these stories, and it's so cool. So I'm actually going to bring Anthony back up, and we're doing a quick sip of our coffee. Let's do a quick, I don't know. Did you bring any coffee? Chandra, we have our coffee. Oh yes, I love it. Let's toast to the Be Inspired Cafe. I love it. So I want to start with you, Anthony. What would you say? What's the most common challenge that you see people faced with when they come to you for coaching support?
Yeah. So the first thing that most people come to me struggling with is their resumes, because everyone knows you need a resume. And so most of the time when people come to me, they're like, Anthony, help me. I've been banging my head against the keyboard. I can't get this bullet point. It's not coming out right. And this damn blinking cursor is just judging me silently. Right. And so I always have my clients take a step back, because resume writing is actually really easy if you follow the proper sequence. It's number one, figure out why you should be hired and why you want to do what you want to do. Number two, put it on paper. And number three, make it look nice. And the problem most people run into is they start at step 3, right? All the stuff you see online with like how to construct the perfect statistic to put in your bullet point, the perfect font, how to like order your resume, all that stuff's important, but you got to start at the beginning of yourself. Like what do you enjoy doing? What are you so good at doing that, like Kate was saying, what would you do for free? And put that in your resume. What's your story? And so that's the one tip I would have, is just start there. Everything flows from there.
I love that. I love that you talked about that intimidating, it's staring at you like, yeah, put the wrong skill set and watch what happens when you send this off. You know, like we can overthink the transition. So you said, Chandra, as you transitioned out, it's actually worked out in your favor. So tell us a little bit about your leap of faith and how it's actually like, and I can kind of agree, even though I said I outright hated it, but if you're watching this and I had coached you in the past, I still love you all. But it just wasn't my career. But how have you transitioned to loving what you do now, Chandra?
I actually do what I've always been doing. It's just now I serve a wider audience. When I was in the military, I taught, I trained, and I motivated on a daily basis. I just did it for service members. But now God has unlocked a door to allow me to serve his people. The people that God identifies to me for me to impact, that's who I touch with my message. Faith-based motivational coach, here to service servant leaders in discovering their purpose, exercising their power, and how to walk by faith to live an abundant life. And God through a journey first. I had to learn how to walk by faith first. And so that took me through a series of walking in the wilderness season. How many of you can identify with walking in a wilderness season where you believe that you don't know where you're going to get the next money to pay this bill, or you don't know where you're going to work or what you're going to do? The bills are due. That's all you know. And you're scratching your head saying, my God, what am I about to do next?
Yes, that's such a good point. So so I have a question for you, Anthony. What would you say? You talk about like that dream job. You talk about getting to a place where we're actually doing what we love, but we're fixing the problems. Chandra just said the lights are in danger of being cut off, or you've had some kind of gap of employment or passion. What would you say to that person to discover their passion while still acknowledging that there are some very real challenges that they're facing?
Well, you just said a really important word, which is acknowledging. So there's a really important thing you need to do, which is to acknowledge all of your situation, right? We want to start with acknowledging the fact that your job is serving you currently, even if you hate it, even if it's like the last thing you want to be doing, getting up and going to that office or wherever you work. If you're still there, there's definitely something that is serving you, whether it's a paycheck, whether it's a community, whether it's a sense of purpose, right? There's something that's keeping you there. Otherwise, if there was absolutely nothing, you would have hit that eject button a long time ago. So start with that, like acknowledging what's there, and then acknowledge also, like this wouldn't be resonating with you if you wouldn't be talking to me unless there was something that was dissatisfying you, right? So that first word, that first step is acknowledging what is working and what's not.
So I would talk to you all forever. I'm going to bring you back. If you're watching, I need you to say like, bring them back, because this is these are such good reminders. So how can those who are watching get connected with you, follow you? What's your website? Let's start with you, Anthony.
So I am on the process of putting my new website up, but you can reach me on Facebook at facebook.com/untamedcareer.
I love it.
Just send me a message and I'll be happy to talk to you.
Yes, and I'll put the links here too. How about you, Chandra? How can we get connected with you?
They can reach me at www.lensoffaith.org.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anthony and Chandra, for being in the Be Inspired Cafe and showing up with your cafe. All right, so it is time for our final thoughts of the day as we wrap up. If you want to win, my last thought is who's getting the cheese session. So if you are watching right now, I need you to go ahead, comment. The next comment that I show is the winner of the cheese. So you have about 10 seconds to share. And our winner today of the free cheese session is none other than Harriet Rogers, who said, yes, bring them back. So not only did she love Anthony and Chandra, she's getting to work with Kate. So what you'll want to do is email us at info@ericalatrice.com so that you can get your session. I want to say thank you so much to all of you who tuned into today's show. And I'm encouraging you, if you do nothing else, trust our guest experts today when they say that you truly can do what you love and thrive in it. You don't have to continue spending the only life that you get miserable and doing something just to make ends meet or just to satisfy someone else or just because of some random label that you allowed someone to attach to you. It's time for you to step out and it's time for you to soar. So that is our show for today. As I'm always telling you, stay connected with me across social media at Erica Empowers, Erica spelled like America. And if this inspired you, tag a trailblazer, go out and make today, not tomorrow, not next week. Go make today amazing because it is absolutely a choice. Bye.
For more inspiration,